What's up guys, and welcome to my channel Flame with a 4. In this video we have another FNAF extension. So this is going to be the extension for the stage. I know that you haven't seen the revamp stage yet, but don't you worry guys, it's on its way. This is the restaurant. We had to scale it down. I know that in the game the restaurant is huge, and obviously then you got the stage, but don't worry guys, we had to scale this right down just so that we can make it obviously into a toy. So here we are. We have Bonnie here. He's playing a lovely little tune for us on the edge. Let's bring you over, Bonnie. No one can see you. You're out of shot. There we go. And then we have Chica. We got Chica here. She thought that would be okay to bring her little cupcake along just so that everybody could have a little try of it. And we got Freddy Fazbear. Obviously Freddy Fazbear is the reason why it's called Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, because everyone comes to see him. And yeah, he's going to sing us a lovely little song. And look, we got tables, we got some Coca-Cola here, we got some pizzas on the plates, and we got some little knives and forks. Obviously we haven't added these yet, but that's why we're doing this video, because we're going to show you how to make one of these for yourself straight after this intro. Hey guys, and welcome back. Right, so the first thing we're going to show you how to make is one of these cool little chairs. I did have a look in a dollhouse place to see if we could find chairs that looked kind of restaurant-y, but kind of like a chair that would go into a Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. And you know, I couldn't find a chair that looked like it would come from the FNAF stage. They all looked really elegant, or they looked really modern, and I wanted to make one or have one that looked old and like, you know, kind of like how it would do if it was in the game. And I feel that with all these markings on here and stuff like that, I don't know if you can see them, they've got kind of like score marks and stuff like that. And on the table, we've got like claw marks, so it looks like somebody's gone onto the table and clawed at the table trying to kill the night guard. And there's a couple of scratches on this table which is all brought down. I will lift this up and show you those in a moment, but for now I'm going to show you how you can make one of these chairs for yourself in a little clip that I've got that I made for you, showing you the dimensions and the sizes right now. Here it is. Okay guys, so now let's get on with building this chair. Right, so the first thing you need to do is go grab yourself some balsa wood. This balsa wood, as you can see here, comes in lengths. You can get it from any dollhouse store. I'm sure you guys will have one. You could possibly get it offline if not. I feel that this is around about 5mm by 5mm, and it's so easy to cut. You can even cut it with a Stanley knife. As you can see here, we have cut 2 lengths. We will be measuring them in a moment, just so you know. And we need to cut some smaller lengths up, just so that obviously we can build it together to make the chair itself. So the first length you're going to need is going to be around about 13 centimeters long, and then the other bits you're going to need are going to be 4 centimeters long. That's what you're going to need to be able to build that. Right, so you will need a pencil and as you can see, a Stanley blades to be able to do this. And then with some UHU glue, what you need to do is just glue those sections together. They want to be the length of the bit that's sticking out, so make sure it's the length of that piece. Once you've got that bit that's stuck out, then what you need to do is do all these lengths the same size and then glue them together like a chair. Make sure that as they're drying, they're level. Make sure you use your ruler to make sure that they stay in level and then keep them in place. Right, so once you've done that and glued all the pieces together, get yourself the base ready, which is obviously where they're going to sit. Again, you want to just measure that up, and I'm going to show you the sizes of that right now. So this is going to have to be a little bit bigger to allow for obviously the wood that's on there. So this needs to be 5 inches by 4.5, I think it was. As you can see, you want to just draw around on the corners where they need to be cut out and then cut those out. You can use a Stanley knife, or you can use like a junior hacksaw, and that will cut that nicely. This balsa wood is lightweight as anything, as you can see me when I was holding it in the video. Right, once you've done that guys, all you need to do is, when your chair is complete, as you can see here, if you do get stuck, remember you can contact me on my social media if you want to know how to build these chairs in more of a detail and you get stuck, then just please hit me up. It will be absolutely fine for me to help you out. Right, so once that's in place and you're happy with it, glue it down so that it's all ready to go. And then you need to move on to the back pieces. I was going to use the same square wood, but I wanted to make it look a little bit different because I felt that the slats need to be round. So I got some round stuff and I cut that 3.5 inches and I placed them in the middle and then glued them with the UHU glue as well. As you can see, the Yoo-hoo goo is in the back there. That's very good for sticking all these together. Go ahead and build as many chairs as you need to build your stage. If you're going to build a big scale, then build as many as you want to. But for this, all I wanted to do was build the 8 chairs that I did, because we're doing a small model scale of the FNAF stage itself. We don't want to do it too big, otherwise it will take up the whole house. And then just go ahead, cut your lengths of wood, and then do as many chairs as you need to. Once you have cut them and you've got them all ready and they're all put together, we're going to move on to using a soldering iron. Any kind of soldering iron, preferably one that you don't really care about too much if your parents have got one, but be careful not to burn yourself, guys. And just touch it on, burn it in the corners, and just give it some old look about it. These are going to be old chairs. They're not going to be brilliant and like in a fancy restaurant or anything like that, because they're going to be in the pizzeria, and I feel that the pizzeria ones need to have some kind of, you know, scary look about them. And burning them like this, anyhow you want, just kind of gives them that old look. It gives them that sort of like rusticy kind of look, which I like. Right, once you've done that, guys, make sure you put them under the table. If you haven't done the table already, which you probably haven't, I suggest maybe you could build the table first if you want to. I did on mine. And then make sure they fit underneath. If you do them exactly the same scale as I do my chairs, and then when I move on to doing the table, they will fit underneath if you do them the same as I have. So don't fear, that's going to be fine. I'm just going to give you a good detailed look at all the chairs, just to prove to you that each chair individually made is made differently. So there's different burn marks, different score marks on there, and even though we're going to paint them, it works perfect for when you do paint them. The paint that I used is a car paint, so it was just like a cellulose brown paint. But you guys can go and use any kind of emulsion paint or any touch-up paints that you can get from Wilkinson's or B&Q or Homebase to paint the chairs. But the way that this absorbed into the wood, it kind of just gave it that sort of, you know, the old look about it, which is what I liked and what I wanted. And the way it soaked into the balsa wood, I did thinners it down. So if you have got some thinners and you want to just have it nice and wishy-washy, that's what I did. And as you can see on the tables, which we haven't done yet, it shows up every little mark. So the marks that you put in it are highlighted quite well, so I do like the way that is. And then we're just going to piece this together here so you can see, and then we'll get on to painting them, guys, and we'll do a quick insight on how to paint them. It's always best to start underneath the chair and wear gloves so you don't get paint all underneath, and just go through like this. So these are the steps on how to paint the chair, just so you know. Here you go, here's me painting it. I do kind of like try and get on all the edges. As you can see, the paint is so thin, but it's absorbing in really well, and you've already seen what the chairs look like close up, so you know that they are brilliant. So thanks for watching, guys. So guys, now that you've seen how to make one of the chairs, what I'm going to do is just move some of these characters out of the way. Come on, Bonnie, you come and play over here, mate. That's it. You play your guitar there. Let's just put the chairs in here so you can see what they look like all together. We'll move Chica back here. Come on, you, take your little cupcake and put it out of the way. Then we got Freddy. Come on, Freds. Just so you can see what it looks like with all the chairs in place. So the tables don't move. The tables are fixed to the actual extension itself. Oops, all the chairs decided to fall backwards. And then, yeah, so the tables are fixed, but the chairs are movable. So obviously people could sit down at the table and have some food, which is obviously what their pizzeria is about. Coming along, having some fun and eating some pizza and watching these guys perform. So obviously we have the stage for this. There is now an extension for the stage. I'm just going to lift this up so you can see them underneath. There they are. We do have the obviously this is the extension restaurant. We do also have in production of making the office. So I don't know if you can see here, we're doing the office. We've got like real CCTV cameras. So if you guys are only just seeing this video for the first time and you haven't seen me making the old stage that we made, obviously please go check that out and stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you set your notifications, because we are going to be building onto this until we have the whole map pretty much. I have got some kind of CCTV cameras coming which I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be taking pictures from where the CCTV cameras will be and then pasting them into the screens on these monitors so it looks like you are seeing what is in each room. So obviously we have that, and then we had the stereo which was silver and now we have painted it black, so obviously we have all that to come. Please remember, just stay tuned to the channel and be active just so that you guys can see these happening, and obviously if you have your notifications set you'll see the extensions being made. So right, let's get back on to how this was done. So I'm just going to take these chairs out just for a moment, just so I can show you the tables, and then we'll go and do a little video on how the tables were made, because again with the tables I couldn't find a table that looked like it would be in the FNAF playset, so obviously I had to make one that looked quite old. So here we go. I can lift it up because the tables are attached because they do not move, and you can see all the stuff on top. So if you can see, there's like some score marks in there on the table, there's some claw marks on that table there. I'll show you how to make one of these tables for yourself right now, guys, so check this out. Okay guys, now let's build a table. What you're going to need is some more balsa wood for this. You want it quite flat, you want it a real flat balsa wood, and you want to be able to measure it out to the sizes that you need. I will go through how big I have made these in a moment, but for now this is what you need to do. Once you've cut it to the size you require, use some 80 grit or some 180 grit sandpaper and round those edges. Tables don't really have to have sharp edges if you don't want them to. You can have them sharp, but I preferred to have it round. As you can see on the left here, there is a table already made, and I'm going to show you how I did it. So what you need to do is mark it with a Sharpie or any kind of pen, and use a guide on the drill piece I'm using, as you can see with my hand, and you just need to kind of like screw it in to make a hole. Although they're going to have square legs in there, having a round hole works a treat, and I'll show you how in a moment. So there you are, there you got your holes, and they're not going all the way through. Get your 5mm balsa wood and cut them to length. Don't worry about if they are scruffy and they're all chipped, because it just adds to the oldness of it and makes it look really kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's style, which is what I like. I'm going to go with a Five Nights at Freddy's style look. So there we go. Right, so once that's all done, guys, what you need to do is, I guess you would be better to sand the edges if you could, but what I did was wrapped it with a piece of tape, and that helps you be able to sand it and cut it down. So use the Stanley blades to just sort of like score off any of that excess wood. As you can see, it's quite tough. Be careful not to cut yourself, guys, please. The last thing I want you to do is go to A&E because you watched my video. You can use a Stanley blade if you're not too sure. That just kind of gives the length of the tables exact. Just push them into place. You can just push and twist, because the balsa wood is so thin. If you push and twist, it kind of shapes itself to the wood. Once you have them all in place and you're happy with them, what you need to do is lay it down and make sure that the table obviously stands level. It can have a little bit of a wobble to it, but you're probably better off to make sure that it doesn't. Once they're in place, just remember to use that UHU glue and put them in and keep them in so that they're obviously done. There you have it. There's how to make the table. Very simple, very easy. Right, so this is the glue that I use. It says it's kind of a special glue. You just need to glue around the edges. As you can see there is the glue. And as you can see on this one, it's been scored and marked using the soldering iron again. You can get wood burning things like this soldering iron. I know you can, but I just feel like the soldering iron just burns it just well enough that for what I need once it's heated up. Remember, guys, you need to make sure that the soldering iron is hot enough to burn the wood. What we're going to do, we could obviously edit this out, but I want to show you that you have to wait. This has been turned on for about 4 minutes, and you need to wait for it to heat up well enough for it to burn through the wood. And when it gets to that temperature, you'll see what I mean. There you go, guys. It's all now heated up. Lovely. Right, so once you've gone around and you've scored everything you need to score with the soldering iron, remember, just go around with that same paint, getting in all the edges, and just put it on anyhow you want. It doesn't have to be neat. I just slapped it on, and it just fills in all those gaps, all the little burn marks that you did, the same as you see which we did with the chairs we have with the table. You kind of just want to they'll be highlighted themselves. You don't need to do anything to highlight those. That will just be highlighted just by painting it. Right, we're coming to the end of building the table, guys. We'll get back to me on the actual restaurant itself, and thanks for watching. That's how you do a table for a FNAF stage. If you want to, you can also add a little bit of black just to give it a little bit of oldness about it. And there you have it. Okay guys, now that you've seen how to make the tables, I'm just going to show you what I did here. So obviously every pizzeria will have a little bit of pizza. So on eBay and in the Doll's House places, which I have like a Dollhouse place in Ipswich, which sell local Dollhouse stuff, which was perfect for this. I managed to get these Coke bottles offline. I will leave a link if you want to get stuff like this, and he can actually hold them. So the characters at the back here can hold the Coca-Cola bottles. They're 1/12 scale, so that's the scale you need for your characters, so it has to be a 1/12 scale. As you can see, someone's gone for orange juice there. We have obviously the nice plates with the pizzas on top. Obviously this is a table for 2, and these people decided to have a table of 4. So we have obviously had to scale it down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I made the base. I'm just going to quickly explain to you what these 2 white bits are at the front here. So as you can see here, there are 2 white sections there. What it is you know on a kitchen door, when you slam the door on the kitchen door, say like on a door like this, you shut it and the magnet will magnetize to it. So I had a great idea. I was like, how about we mount the magnets, because this is so high up in the air anyway, because it already has the feet which we've made. We just put a couple of little feet under there to keep it up off the ground. I thought what we could do is put the magnets on there, then there's magnets on the front of the stage which are covered up, and then what will happen is all of this will click into place. So as you push this into place, that will click onto the stage itself. So you have that. How I made the bottom of the floor, obviously this is real ceramic tiles, which looks really good I think, because I did have the vinyl wrap which was on there, but it kept kind of bubbling up and getting a bit nasty. And obviously we got to 163k views with the other stage, so I thought, why not treat this stage to a little bit of TLC, give it some real authentic look about it, make it look like it actually is real. So obviously what we're going for is realism as much as we can in a playset, which you don't get if you buy the Lego ones. So we do have that. Right, so how we did the floor is we got a tile. It was just like a normal house tile which you can get from anywhere. It will say like it's for a bathroom, so you've got a bathroom tile, and then it came in little sections. They weren't already black, I had to paint those black, and I'll show you how to do that in a little clip that I have in a moment. But what I wanted to do is tell you guys that when you have tiles, obviously they need to be scaled down. This tile was bigger than it needed to be. Obviously I had to have it cut down to the size that I wanted it, so I had to go get it cut. I don't have a tile cutter myself. I wasn't very confident about cutting it, but what I did is I went to my local tile place. I'll put a link in the description to the tile place that I use, and I said, look, could you cut these tiles for us? I know you don't do that. I know you cut them for clients who buy them in bulk, but I just need a couple of tiles cutting, and they were happy to do it. They did it for free of charge, but you don't know unless you ask. So if you want something like that to do and you want it cut down and you're not confident on doing it yourself, then just ask somebody in a tile place and I'm sure they'll be happy to help you. Obviously if you take the mick and you want like 100 tiles cut, they're probably not going to do it, but for a couple of tiles they were absolutely fine with it. And I'm going to show you how we made the floor for this extension right now, so check this out guys. So guys, once you've had that tile cut, just place it onto the piece of extension that we already have. Make sure it lines up to the one that's on the stage itself. Here's a sneak peek of the stage. Then you want to get some fine line tape and then just mask off every individual square that's there, and make sure that you push the tape down well enough so that the paint doesn't seep underneath. The paint that I got was a tile paint that my sister had left over from doing her kitchen tiles, and you want to kind of like stroke away from the tape and then go right to the edge and lay it on nice and thick, just so that it looks as well as it does. And remember, try not to paint a square next to a square. You want it to look like it's checkered, because obviously the floor on the Five Nights at Freddy's stage and on the restaurant, pretty much throughout the stage and the actual playset itself, has got checkered flooring like this. So taking your time and painting it up so that it looks really nice is obviously going to be a good way of doing it. I don't know if you can see around the edge, but when I glued it on using Tiger Seal, which is obviously what I used to glue the tile onto the base of the wood, and that stuck very well, I went around with some felt tape just to kind of take away the edge. Although it's not sharp, it looks better that it's obviously neatened up by this felt tape, because the felt tape does wonders for making things look finished off. Once you've done that, you've got to leave it to dry. I left mine for 24 hours. I felt like it needed 24 hours to dry, and you are going to get another sneak peek in a second of the stage floor being painted, which you'll be seeing in the next episode. As you can see, that's the stage floor, and then the restaurant extension goes onto the back. When this is attached to the stage itself, it will be the same level. What you need to do is peel off the tape how you put the tape on, so try to do it slowly as you can. I did this just before it was completely dry, so I waited about 4 hours, I think it was, and then I pulled off the tape, because if you do it when it's really dry, there is a chance of it peeling and pulling the paint off itself, because the paint will be stuck on top of the tape. So don't allow it to dry for 24 hours, but take the tape off first, as you can see I'm doing here. So guys, that's how you make the restaurant extension. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button and please set your notifications if you want to see more videos like this. This is only episode 1 of the extension for the FNAF stage. We obviously have the overhaul of the FNAF stage where we rip it apart and we build it all back together. We now have a removable backstage. So obviously we have that coming, and we are building the office, obviously, where they watch all the animatronics and go like that. We're going to have the bathrooms. We're going to have everything. We're going to have the hallway, everything added onto it, and I'm going to be doing a live stream to show you guys how you attach everything onto it. Okay, so please remember to subscribe, and thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Say bye Chica, say bye Freddy, say bye Bonnie, and see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.